Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission, as always, is to cut through the noise, get you informed fast. Today, we're plunging into a sector where, honestly, the stakes couldn't be higher. We're talking about a world where the smallest human error isn't just, an inefficiency. It could be a truly catastrophic risk. The pharmaceutical and life sciences industry. It's a world where patient safety is everything, and a single mistake can cost staggering amounts of money, and critically, it can impact lives. So our focus today is EON Reality's new Compliance and Competency Platform. And this isn't just another piece of tech. It's a spatial AI platform, and it's engineered specifically to tackle these really profound human error risks and also the crushing regulatory challenges that go with them. It's a fascinating look at how this, cutting-edge technology is stepping in to protect us all.
Yeah, exactly. And our goal in this deep dive is really to unpack how this breakthrough integration of extended reality, that's XR, and artificial intelligence, AI, isn't just sort of improving training. It's actually creating what they call a digital audit trail of competence. Think of it like a verifiable, irrefutable record of skill. And this fundamentally transforms how these vital industries operate. It ensures both patient safety and, very continuity of businesses developing our most critical medicines. It's really about building this unshakable foundation of verified demonstrable skill.
Right. And we're pulling all our insights today from EON Reality's own official announcement and also their pretty comprehensive white paper, Ensuring Compliance, Accelerating Discovery, Spatial AI Training for the Modern Life Sciences Workforce. All right. Get ready for some genuinely surprising facts here that really highlight the urgency and, frankly, the brilliance of this innovation. Okay, let's unpack this then. Before we jump into the solutions EON is proposing, we need to truly understand the immense pressure. It's almost existential pressure facing the life sciences sector right now. Our sources describe it as nothing less than a dual crisis scenario, a kind of perfect storm brewing with devastating potential.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is how multiple pressures aren't just present, they actually converge. They come together to create this catastrophic risk exposure. It's not just one problem in isolation, it's this dangerous interplay that just amplifies every single risk. First, and maybe the most terrifyingly, there's human error as an existential threat. Think about the precision needed. A single breach of aseptic protocol, maybe someone not gowning correctly, maybe just a tiny miscalibration of a critical piece of equipment that can instantly contaminate and destroy multi-million-dollar product batches. The source highlights that these contamination events, on average, cost major manufacturers a staggering $25 million annually. Just think about that number.
25 million, wow.
Yeah. And Dan Lajerskar, the chairman of EON Reality, he puts it very powerfully. He says, in this sector, human error is not a minor inefficiency. It is a catastrophic risk. The most significant operational bottleneck and financial risk in the life sciences pipeline is the variability of human performance in zero-tolerance environments. That's not just a warning. It's basically a declaration of the industry's biggest challenge.
And beyond that direct financial hit from ruined batches, you mentioned there's this immense weight of regulation, too, the crushing GXP requirements.
Absolutely. That's the second major pressure point, the regulatory compliance burden. The industry operates under truly crushing GXP good practice documentation requirements. These are the strict guidelines from bodies like the FDA that dictate, pretty much everything from manufacturing to clinical trials. Training effectiveness, for instance. It's not just about doing the training. It has to be objectively proven to FDA auditors. You need hard evidence.
Proven, right? Not just assumed.
Exactly. And failure to provide that undeniable proof, or worse, failure in compliance itself, can lead to devastating consequences. We're talking things like FDA Form 483 findings, those are formal notices detailing violations, or even consent decrees, which are legally binding agreements to fix serious non-compliance. These can cost hundreds of millions of dollars. They aren't just fines, they can halt production, damage reputations, maybe even threaten a company's license to operate.
So it's not enough to just conduct the training. You have to demonstrate with undeniable data that the training worked, that competence was achieved, and it's being maintained. That's a whole different level of accountability.
Exactly right. And adding to this perfect storm is a significant critical skills gap. The equipment used in these labs, things like bioreactors, those massive tanks growing cells for vital compounds, and HPLC machines, which are critical for precisely separating and analyzing chemical mixtures, they are incredibly complex. They require strict, multi-step adherence to standard operating procedures, the SOPs. Simple deviations from these SOPs. They can compromise data integrity, which is just monumental in a regulated field, and ruin entire production runs. The margin for error here is basically zero. Non-existent.
And all of this, I guess, inevitably leads to major operational bottlenecks, right? Because you can't just throw new people into these incredibly high-stakes, zero-tolerance environments and, expect them to perform perfectly from day one.
Precisely. The sources highlight that new technician onboarding currently takes 6 months or more to reach full productivity.
6 months.
6 months. Imagine the delays that creates in the lab-to-market pipeline, especially when speed is absolutely essential for competitive advantage and getting life-saving therapies to patients who need them. These combined pressures, they create an environment that's just ripe for disaster if it's not properly addressed. It makes this kind of innovation not just desirable, but utterly essential.
Okay, these problems, human fallibility, crushing regulations, complex machines, the sheer time it takes to get people up to speed, they sound almost insurmountable. So how does EON Reality even begin to tackle such a multifaceted crisis? This is where it gets really interesting because their platform offers not just one solution, but 4 integrated solutions that together form this comprehensive ecosystem.
Right. And this platform is ingeniously engineered. It directly eliminates those human error risks while at the same time strengthening the regulatory defense. It's a complete integrated system designed for environments where there just is no room for error.
Let's dive into these solutions then. The first area you mentioned with immense impact was aseptic technique, that critical skill in sterile environments. How are they transforming that?
Okay, so that's where their virtual cleanroom and aseptic simulators come in. Imagine these incredibly immersive, photorealistic simulations of GXP-compliant cleanrooms. Learners can practice every complex procedure, like the really intricate steps of aseptic gowning or material pass-through, all with immediate, intelligent AI feedback.
So it's not just watching a video.
Not at all. This isn't passive. It's about doing. They can even have haptic feedback to simulate the feel of different materials. And the AI tracks every subtle movement, ensuring the muscle memory developed is truly flawless. This directly prevents contamination in the real sterile environments, and crucially, it builds what they call deep muscle memory for flawless execution under pressure. You perfect the technique in a safe, repeatable space before you ever go near the real thing.
Okay, then there's something that, it sounds straight out of a cutting-edge research facility, almost sci-fi. Practicing on multi-million-dollar equipment without any risk. How are they achieving that kind of virtual accuracy?
It absolutely does feel futuristic. That's the power of their digital twin laboratory and manufacturing equipment. Think of these as functionally accurate virtual replicas of critical high-value equipment. So bioreactors, chromatography skids, those high-precision HPLC machines we mentioned. Personnel can practice entire complex procedures right from startup and calibration through to, say, media inoculation and in-process sampling.
Without touching the real machine.
Exactly. The key is they do all of this repeatedly, without risking production downtime, without wasting expensive reagents, and crucially, without causing real-world errors. It's all about building that critical procedural memory and confidence before they ever touch the live assets. Imagine the peace of mind that gives everyone involved.
You talked about the monumental challenge of regulatory audits earlier. This next solution sounds like it could fundamentally change that whole stressful process.
It absolutely does. This is where the audit-proof compliance and GXP training component really shines. The core of this is what they call the digital audit trail of competence. Basically, the EON data flywheel captures every single training exercise, every assessment, every certification, every measurable interaction as these immutable time-stamped records.
Immutable meaning they can't be changed.
Precisely. Unchangeable. This provides time-stamped, verifiable proof of employee abilities meeting FDA audit requirements. It completely transforms audits. Instead of those stressful, reactive scrambles to gather bits of paper and prove things after the fact, it becomes this clear, proactive demonstration of excellence. It's a powerful regulatory defense tool, like corporate insurance against compliance failures.
Wow, okay. And finally, they're bringing AI directly into the mix with AI-powered SOP and knowledge integration, AI tutors guiding you through highly sensitive protocols. That sounds revolutionary. How does that work exactly? How do they ensure it's compliant?
It is genuinely next-level stuff. The EON Train AI component creates specialized AI tutors directly from a company's official approved standard operating procedure documents, their own SOPs. This ensures procedure adherence that is strictly compliant with that validated source documentation. It prevents what they call informal knowledge drift, that subtle shift in how things are done over time, just from people teaching each other verbally.
Ah, right, like a game of telephone with critical procedures.
Exactly. And crucially, it also features automatic updates. So as SOPs evolve, and they do, frequently the training automatically reflects the current approved procedures. This eliminates any variability in instruction quality across the entire workforce. Everyone gets the same, correct, up-to-date training.
So we've dissected these incredible individual tools clearly designed for precision and safety. But how does EON Reality make sure they're deployed strategically? Where they'll make the biggest difference and not just become another piece of software sitting on a digital shelf. There must be a thought-out approach.
Absolutely, yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, EON Reality deploys this platform through a very prioritized four-phase approach. They meticulously target the highest risk, highest cost areas first, maximum immediate impact. So phase one, which is designated priority one, focuses squarely on GXP compliance and aseptic technique certification. This means immediately mitigating that huge contamination risk and building robust regulatory audit defense using those virtual cleanroom simulators for all sterile manufacturing personnel. It hits the most critical, immediate threats right away.
Okay, top priority. Makes sense.
Then also in phase two, another priority one is complex equipment operation and maintenance. This aims to prevent that catastrophic batch loss by deploying the digital twins for the most complex, highest value manufacturing systems. Again, tackling huge financial risk. Then moving to priority two, we have phase three, which tackles lab technician onboarding and skill development. This is about accelerating that time to productivity for all laboratory and manufacturing roles, getting people effective faster. And finally, phase four, also priority two, is about global clinical trial site training. This ensures procedural consistency across worldwide trial locations, which is vital for enhancing data integrity and speeding up trial timelines, a crucial step for global drug development.
The before versus after comparison mentioned in the sources really does paint a vivid picture of the transformation. It's not just sort of hypothetical improvements. They seem to have concrete numbers backing up the profound impact.
It truly does, and these numbers are quite compelling. Consider these measurable outcomes, they're genuinely transformative. For contamination events, they project a staggering 50% reduction in contamination probability.
60%.
50%. Now, for a company averaging that $25 million in batch losses annually, that translates directly to a remarkable $12.5 million in annual savings.
Let's just pause on that for a second. Think about what that $12.5 million really means. That's not just a line item on a spreadsheet, right?
Not at all.
That's capital that can be reinvested into groundbreaking R&D, into accelerating new drug discovery, maybe expanding manufacturing capacity. It fundamentally rewrites the economics of risk in this industry. It frees up resources for innovation.
Absolutely spot on. And for regulatory audits, instead of the old way that manual documentation scrambles subjective assessments, which were historically so burdensome, totally stressful, companies move to instant objective compliance reports. This provides powerful corporate insurance against catastrophic compliance failures, like those FDA 483 findings and the crippling consent decrees. It shifts companies from being defensive to being confidently, verifiably compliant.
And what about that massive bottleneck you mentioned earlier, getting new talent up to speed? That sounded like it would have an enormous impact on the whole pipeline.
It does, a huge impact. Technician onboarding time is reduced from that daunting 6 months plus down to just 2 months.
Wow, 2 months.
2 months. This alone, the source suggests, leads to over $1 million in annual productivity gains for teams of 50 or more new hires. That's not just getting people working faster, it's about accelerating the entire research and production process, shrinking the time to market for vital medicines. Plus, think about safety training. Instead of limited, often inherently risky practice with hazardous materials, you move to 100% safe virtual handling of potent APIs and dangerous chemicals. It's a complete shift in the risk profile, protecting both employees and the product itself.
So the ROI must be pretty impressive then.
Extremely. The platform, according to the source, delivers an exceptional return on investment. Over 700% ROI in the first year alone, based on a $1.5 million platform investment. These aren't just incremental improvements. They are transformative changes that redefine operational excellence.
Okay, so this isn't just about individual labs or single manufacturers tweaking their training. It sounds like it's designed to integrate across the whole life sciences ecosystem. What's the broader strategy for getting this adopted widely?
Yeah, that's a really important question. How does this innovation truly permeate the industry? EON Reality is leveraging 4 key partnership models to make that happen. First, they're forming major pharmaceutical and biotech company partnerships for enterprise-wide deployment, bringing this capability to the global giants at scale. Second, They're creating contract development and manufacturing organizations, CDMO alliances.
Hmm.
These are the organizations that manufacture drugs for other companies. This allows the CDMOs to offer premium compliance assurance as a competitive differentiator to their clients. Work with us. We have this verifiable training.
Ah, makes them more attractive.
Exactly. Third, and this is critical, they're pursuing laboratory equipment and instrument manufacturer integration. This means co-developing official digital twin training modules directly with the makers of the bioreactors, the HPLC machines, all that complex equipment.
To training straight from the source.
Right. Effectively establishing gold standards for operating that specific system, endorsed by the manufacturer. And finally, clinical research organization, CRO, collaboration. This ensures standardized virtual training across global trial sites, which is absolutely vital for maintaining data integrity and accelerating trial timelines for these big multinational studies.
And the technology itself, I mean, it sounds amazing, but is it just new and shiny tech, or is it actually built on a solid, compliant foundation? Because for this incredibly regulated industry, that's absolutely crucial for adoption. You can't just plug anything in.
No, you absolutely can't. And the foundation is critical here. This platform is built on EON Reality's 20-plus years of experience in XR innovation, sure. But crucially, it's specifically designed and validated for GXP environments. It aligns directly with FDA CGMP requirements, that's current good manufacturing practice. It features enterprise-grade security meeting the highest pharmaceutical industry cybersecurity standards. And it offers audit-ready documentation for organizations like the Joint Commission and, of course, the FDA. It's built for purpose, from the ground up, specifically for this demanding sector.
Okay, so it ticks those regulatory boxes, and it sounds like the industry itself is widely recognizing this shift too. It's not just EON Reality pushing this. There's an acknowledged urgent need for this kind of solution across the board.
Indeed. Yeah, the white paper highlights that regulatory experts confirm, and I'm quoting loosely here, that relying on traditional training methods is no longer a sustainable model. It is an open invitation to risk in a zero-error world of GXP compliance. The need for this transformation is now widely acknowledged throughout the sector. They know the old ways, the traditional classroom or watch one, do one methods. They're simply not equipped anymore to handle the complexities and the immense risks of modern life sciences.
So we really see today how EON Reality's spatial AI platform is fundamentally moving the life sciences industry, moving it from an environment that was, frankly, rife with catastrophic human error risks to one of verifiable, audit-proof competence and hopefully accelerated innovation. It's a profound reshaping of how they approach training, compliance, and ultimately how they ensure patient safety.
Absolutely. The quantifiable impact we've discussed, from those drastically reduced contamination events, the accelerated onboarding, the robust regulatory defense, it truly highlights the power you get when you combine XR and AI in these zero-tolerance environments. These are not just theoretical gains on paper. They translate into millions of dollars saved and, far more importantly, significantly enhanced patient safety right across the board.
So for you, our listener, here's a final thought to mull over as we wrap up. If this concept, this digital audit trail of competence, can so profoundly impact the pharmaceutical and life sciences sector, an industry where human performance is literally a matter of life and death, where else in our world? Think about other high-stakes environments, maybe aerospace, maybe nuclear power, maybe even complex surgical procedures. Where else could this kind of verifiable, mistake-safe training transform industries and ensure a future built on undeniable, provable competence? Something to think about.